Guys, my name is Emma, and today is day 19 of the 25 Days of Perspective. Today we're going to talk about water scarcity. Now, water is not only used in our lives when we drink it. Every piece of clothing, every piece of technology, every piece of food that we eat has virtual water that created it. Now, this water does actually exist, but it's water that we see used in the process to create that item that we may not be aware of that is being used. For example, for one t-shirt, it costs 800 gallons of water to create. For a pair of jeans, it costs 1,800 gallons of water to create. When it comes to food, we can look at it in a variety of ways. How much the crops were requiring water, but if we're looking at animal products, we might have to consider how much water is used to grow the crops and how much water is actually fed to these animals in their entirety. Now, 1 billion people do not have access to clean water, but we have billions of cows on this planet that are given sufficient amounts of water, and they require about 50 gallons of water a day, whereas a human requires about 2 gallons of water a day. So it seems like there's something off. We are giving and using a lot of water for animals, for creating clothes, for creating technology, where the turnaround of these items is so vast and so often that we are usually throwing out a lot of the stuff that we're creating using this water. It's estimated that 25% of water is used to create items that are never actually used. And that's a lot of water being wasted when we live in a time where people do not have access to clean water, and if they do have access, they may be spending their entire days just trying to get enough water for their family for that one day. So there's this imbalance across the world where people are fighting their everyday lives to just have enough water to drink, whereas over here we're able to buy clothes as much as we want, we're able to buy animal products as much as we want, and buy any and all amounts of technology that we can buy, and we're creating this disproportion of people who can and cannot. And if we can, it is up to us to make that decision to do something else, to do something better, to create a world where, hey, this isn't okay and I want to do better. I want to make more conscious and more intentional decisions. And the first step of being able to make a decision with information is having information. There's going to be, as always, a description box full of resources, and I encourage you to look into what do you know about water? How is water used? How is water filtered through the environment? What does it mean? What does wastewater do? Where does that come from? How does that affect the environment? How does wastewater infiltrate the ocean and destroy ocean life in that way? And a great deal of water comes from reservoirs, from rivers, and we are polluting them at a grand rate too. I will link a video that I did on Superfund sites and how those are a big part of the pollution that is going into our water sources and into our ocean. And the biggest body of water in the world, the earth is comprised of 75% water, is our oceans. And we are pulling out animals from the oceans that are needed to keep the oceans running and functioning. 8 out of 10 breaths that we take every single day come from the ocean. And we are destroying the ocean by pulling out animals, pulling out fish, pulling out and not replacing or giving the environment, the ecosystem, the availability, the time that it takes to grow these animals and to replace them. And instead, we're taking out fish and dumping in plastic, we're dumping in chemicals, and we're creating this toxic mess that is affecting us. And when all of these perspectives, all of these little components come together, it really begs the question, what are we doing? But more importantly, what can we do to stop it? And the answer is, we need to first learn what's going on in order to do something about it. But it has to go in that order. We need to know what's going on in order to do something about it. And as you look at this information, a lot of them give suggestions, give little things that you can do every single day to change the impact that you have on the world. And they're not these huge drastic things either. A lot of them is buy less of the things that you buy on a daily basis and use what you already have. And if you are going to buy something, try to buy it secondhand so you're not creating another demand for that product. These little steps are not little, they are the big changes. And the more people do them, the more people we can get to do them, the bigger change we will make in this world. So I encourage you to continue on this journey with me with making intentional choices and decisions. And until the next video, I hope you have an amazing day.